Magandang gabi mga ka-2OT. Ako po si Carlo Pamintuan, of course with Maguma John, and we are 1 day away from the start of the PBA's 47th season. Magsisimula po bukas ang aksyon sa loob ng Smart Araneta Coliseum Leo Awards, the opening, tapos agad-agad double header ang ating babanatan in the Philippine Cup. This episode of 2OT is of course presented by Smart 5G, airing on 2OT and on the Smart Sports Facebook page. Magu, gaano ka excited to see just basketball again in the PBA?
It is going to be an extremely long day tomorrow. Huli tayo nagka-double header sa opening day was back in 2014 ng Philippine Arena pa yon.
Yeah.
It was the two new teams. Itong Blackwater and Kia back then, which is Terra Firma now. And then main game was TNT and Barangay Ginebra. Pero ngayon, mas mahaba pa doon, Carlo, dahil bukod doon sa 2 games, preceded by, mauna doon yung opening nga. And bago pa yun, ito na yung the last couple of years ba? Ginagawa na natin, dinidikit na yung Leos. Medyo mahirap matulog tonight because of everything that we are looking forward to tomorrow all day, starting at 2 p.m.
2 p.m. ang Leo Awards, and that will officially close the book on the PBA's 46th season. Kung meron kayong kuro-kuro, kung meron kayong mga opinion kung sino yung mananalo ng mga awards bukas, share with us your thoughts. At sigurado babasahin naman po natin throughout this show kung sino yung tingin nyo mananalo talaga ng mga awards. Of course, specifically for the Rookie of the Year and the Most Valuable Player of the Award, na yan talaga yung pinakamainit na diskusyon in the PBA.
I think yung Rookie of the Year, baka mas malamig-lamig ng konti, pero yung MVP, I think it's a toss-up. It might just be a toss-up between the 3 favorites do sa category na yun, di ba?
Yung kasing kay Robert Bolick, he is the 4th candidate, no? If he played more games, parang malamang level na 4-way race yan because of the numbers that he was producing. Pero nga, hindi mo pwedeng ikaila na may bentahe yung dalawang nag-BPC at saka yung nag-finals MVP in the last season.
Dalawa yan, parang nag-finals MVP pa, yung Mikey Williams, pati ito si Scottie Thompson. Pero syempre, yung Calvin Abueva, nag-BPC din. Dinala rin naman niya sa finals yung kanyang team. Yun lang talaga yung kulang ni Bolick eh. Hindi nakausad ng malayo sa playoffs, Carlo.
But I'm sure nakatatak yan sa isip nitong si Robert Bolick as he starts his campaign with Northport here in the PBA's 47th season. Dito sa show natin, Magu, we will break down all of the teams, yung kanilang schedule, the strength of the schedule, saan sila medyo mahihirapan. We will take a look at the additions, yung mga departures, yung mga wala pang kontrata, kasi meron pang mga ganyang pinag-uusapan ngayon in the PBA. So, let us start things off by talking about our schedule. Kung ano ang gagawin natin bukas, June 5, at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Again, it's starting off with the Leo Awards. We'll have the opening. We'll have Converge versus Train or Shine. And then, agad-agad, Philippine Cup Finals rematch between the Magnolia Templados and TNT Tropang Giga.
It does not get any better than that. Ang ganda ng unang salto natin. Salpukan kagad, siguradong tumataginting yan, Carlo. Magkakasubukan kagad itong TNT at Magnolia. It should be explosive.
But now, let's focus our discussions on the 12 teams. Isa-isahin natin yung mga 12 kupunan natin that will see action in the PBA's 47th season. Of course, we'll start our discussions with Blackwater. Alphabetical po ang ating diskarte dito sa 2OT. Blackwater, as we all know, only scored 1 win. Dito sa 46th season, it came at the very last moment against Magnolia. Added the first pick overall, Brandon Ganuelas Rosser, traded for Yusef Taha, added another big in Ato Ular, and you can see that the imprint nitong si Coach Ariel Vanguardia, malalaki na yung mga moves na ginagawa niya. He's really trying to build this team into his liking.
They may only have 1 win from the previous season, Carla, pero ang pinaka-importante doon, yung dulo nga, binanggit mo, huli na nung makuha nila yung panalong yun. Ang gandang pambuelo, ang gandang pambaon into the off-season. Every single guy that was there last season, including si Coach Ariel, puro ganun yung naririnig natin, nababasa nila na at least ngayon alam na ulit nila paano manalo because ilan ba? 2 years ba? Ang tagal di ba?
Mula unang PBA bubble, Magu.
Yun, mula nung Clark pa, di ba? Mula nung Clark pa. Kaya napakahaba nung pinag-antay nila. Ngayon, natikman na ulit nila and winning is addicting. Anybody who competes at anything will tell you that. They have retooled. Ang malas lang, Carlo, yung Brandon Rosser will be out for the early part of the tournament para dito sa Blackwater. But the rest of the pieces, we'll see what they have right now. We just want to see them compete. Actually, we're not expecting them to win the championship right away, the Philippine Cup, to barge into the finals. Chamba siguro semis, pero ang target mong una dyan, maka-quarters, maka-compete sa elims, just to have a shot at the quarters. We'll see what they have until they get Brandon Rosser into that lineup.
Paul Desiderio, no, unfortunately, also suffered an ACL injury. So isa pa yan sa mga mamimiss nitong Blackwater Bossing. But, their lineup has definitely improved. Maganda yung nilaro ni Yusef Taha for Alaska in the last conference. So let's see if he'll be able to help out. Magu, sino sa mga young guns nitong Blackwater yung tingin mo kayang mag-make ng move here in the Philippine Cup? Sino yung pwedeng umangat talaga sa laro niya and really, give himself, a name here in the Philippine Cup?
Sino ba yung sino ba kaposisyon ni Desiderio yung kinuha nila?
Ako, Ray Suerte ako eh. I mean, if I have to pick one guy, it would be Ray Suerte.
Nabigyan na tayo ng konting patikim ni Ray Suerte in that previous tournament, in the previous season. Pwede. He should be the main guy na tututukan mo because tandaan natin, Gilas boy din tong si Suerte, di ba? There's a reason why he was involved in the Gilas program. And it's his time to shine, especially nga dahil wala yung Paul Desiderio. It might just be his time to shine.
Another player that I'm excited to see para dito sa Blackwater is Barkley Ebonia. Siya yung nakascore ng game winner, yung layup in transition to beat Magnolia. And even though he's an undersized form, may sipag talaga may karakter, may laban itong si Ebonia. And that's why I think he's also going to have a particularly good conference for Blackwater.
Isang nagbibigay, I guess, sa kanya na inspiration din is yung masama man lang sa nominees ng all-defensive team. That's a big thing, di ba? Sa dami ng magagaling na players sa PBA, magsisiksikan kayo, manalo o matalo man siya sa all-defensive team, just to be in that conversation. He was telling Jut and Denise that dun sa PBA
sports
opening
page,
sa sports page, sa PBA opening week primer na nagulat din siya sa sarili niya na nakasama siya doon. And it should really get him jump-started here, yung focus niya. Kulang pa nga sila ng big sa ngayon. Titignan natin kung yung pagiging nominee niya at least sa defensive player of the year or the all defensive team, will magbubunga para dito kay Ebonia.
So silipin natin ngayon, Magu, yung schedule nitong Blackwater. If you're Blackwater, what do you want? Gusto mo ba malalakas agad yung kalaban? Gusto mo ba yung mga at least nasa level mo in terms of talent? Or do you want to try and catch, these favorites, not yet in the greatest of shapes sa pagsisimula ng Philippine Cup, Magu?
Mabigat yung unang dalawa. TNT kagad and then Barangay Ginebra. Both of those games will be in Antipolo, by the way. And then may konting reprieve. Yung pwede mo sabihin medyo kamatch na eh. May Northport, may Terra Firma na kasunod. And then yung Meralco na intact ngayon. Mamaya pagkikwentuhan natin yung lineup nila. It will be shaky para dito sa Blackwater to begin with. Dahil that's gonna be a tall order. TNT, Barangay Ginebra, minus Brandon Rosser in that lineup. You want to get Brandon Rosser back pagdating dito sa bandang etong July yung 8 and 10.
Yeah.
And then all the way dito sa 13, 15, 20, yun yung gusto mo na masungkit eh. Rain or shine, converge nando doon. That's where you should think that mas maganda yung pag-asa mo manalo. You want to get your main big man back, the top overall pick by that time. Pero 6 to 8 weeks? Abot ba yun? Or 4 to 6 weeks?
I think he should be fine with 4 to 6 weeks. I think yun yung initial diagnosis itong si Brandon. Of course, wala man si Brandon, yung TNT hindi rin full strength. No? Pag-uusapan natin mamaya kung sino yung wala sa TNT lineup when we get to talk about the defending Philippine Cup champions. But again, in terms of this schedule, I think pabor sa Blackwater na you get to start with TNT and Barangay Ginebra just to try and get those out of the way. Baka nga, wala pa sa tamang kondisyon itong TNT at yung Ginebra coming off the championship. Ikaw naman, ang haba ng off-season mo eh. Napaka-aga mong nakapagsimula ng training, yung mga players mo, kondisyon na. I'm sure they already played a lot of tune-up games. So, who knows? Diba? Baka makagulat early itong Blackwater. That should, do wonders for their confidence.
We should note na that's gonna be TNT's second game. They play Magnolia tomorrow, first sa opening day natin. Pero sa Barangay Ginebra, first game. Yun yung sinasabi mo, Carlo, na baka masungkitan mo to dahil syempre kayo, second game na sila, buena mano pa lang. Baka sakali, di ba?
Tapos ang eksipan ng naging pahinga ng Barangay Ginebra competing in that Governor's Cup final. So Blackwater, exciting things. Looking forward to seeing the Blackwater bossing starting on June 9. Sunod naman tayo sa ating pangalawang team, ang pinakabagong kupunan. Dito sa PBA, they bought out the Alaska franchise, Converge, Fiber Xers. Magsisimula na po sila ng kanilang kampanya. Of course, still with Coach Jeffrey Carriazo, a couple of key aces still in there, and Mike Di Gregorio and Jeron Teng. But what are your expectations, Magu, from a team that is, basically brand new?
It's gonna be a big question mark, actually. Lalong-lalo na, you already mentioned this kanina, may konting problema pa sa pagpirma dahil sa agent yata ang problema na ito ni na Abu Trotter, pati si Maverick Ahanbisi. Hindi yata accredited, kaya kailangan, they need to find a workaround around it, either get a new agent or I don't know how they're gonna deal with that, but Converge will go with what they have. Yun ang sinabi ni Coach Jeff Carriazo. Whoever's in the lineup right now, go sila, yun yung pinaporma nila. Malaking bagay, yung dalawang malaking pinili nila.
Yeah.
Itong mga rookies nila, they will be tested. Pati na rin yung Loera, pati si Hill. But yung all eyes will be on the two bigs, Carlo, I guess, for the opener.
Gio Ambohot, Justin Arana, two big additions. And alam natin, Magu, di ba? In the Philippine Cup, it's mostly about the bigs, di ba? Sino ang pangkokontrol mo kay Junmar Fajardo? Sino yung pantatapat mo kay Kraken, who is looking great as of the moment? So, di ba? The work is cut off for the bigs nitong Converge. But again, if it's Coach Jeffrey Carriazo, you know that team will work hard, will practice hard, will go hard. Expect highly defensive battles when Converge is in action. Kasi yun talaga yung atake ni Coach Jeffrey with the Alaska franchise back then.
And alam din natin, of course, this is a brand new franchise. The ownership, the fan base from Pampanga, it's already going to be there. They will try and give everybody, the basketball-loving public, a really good first impression. Laban lang kung laban, yun yung kailangan para makakuha ka agad ng instant fans. You're going to be playing the very first game for the 47th season. Everybody's going to be there. All eyes are going to be on you. And yung dalawang malaki, Jeron Teng and the rest of the holdovers, sige, magpapakita yan sigurado. Pero these two guys, Ambohot and Arana, baptism of fire, Carlo. Big bow ka agad ang kalaban mo, first game pa lang.
Isa yata yun sa mga tinanong ng sports page. You draw your first foul in the PBA. Sino gusto mo? Bobelga or Kelly Nabo? Medyo nahirapang sumagot yung mga bigs. Because it's going to happen, di ba? They are going to be welcomed into the PBA, and why not start things off with Big Bobelga as we take a look at their schedule now. Ano nga ba yung magiging itsura ng kampanya ng Converge Fiber Xers? As you said, Magu, they will be starting out with a game against Rainer Shine, Elasto Painters, tapos Magnolia agad, TNT agad, Meralco agad. That's a gauntlet for this young team.
If there's one game that they need to steal, it is this first game tomorrow, because you mentioned it. Magnolia, TNT, yung dalawang finalists na nakaraang Philippine Cup. Meralco, intact, they'll be there. That's before they get to Terra Firma. And then SMB, yung makakasunod. Barangay Nebra and Lex is gonna be solid. We're gonna be talking about them a little later on. Before, may konti ka pang reprieve ulit pagdating to sa baba, Northport, Phoenix, Blackwater, pagdating sa dulo. Pero ang bigat nung 5 and then 5 days off, 10, 12, 16. Yun yung mabigat sa schedule netong Converge. It's gonna be rough for this squad. Hopefully they can compete. They can show us what they have right away. Wag kagad I guess ma-dishearten yung mga rookies, yung mga mas batang player. They should follow the lead of not just Coach Jeff, but Jeron Teng will try his best na magpakita ng tapang para tumapang din yung mga mas batang kararating lang sa PBA.
So welcome to the PBA Family Converge, and we're excited to see you performing as well. Nakita na ba natin yung mga uniform? Hindi pa, no? Wala pa tayong glimpse dun sa uniform. So we will see those tomorrow as they play the first game.
Black and purple yung datingan, no? Black and purple yung kulay, just like their logo right there, black, purple, and maybe white. Should be exciting. May bagong flavor . Yun yung maganda dun. May bagong flavor na naman. And it will be, yung paglabas pa lang ng kit o ng uniform nila, doon na natin makikita yan.
But as you said, Magu, no, the first half of the schedule, mabigat para dito sa Converge, but maybe they can get things going in the latter part, win a few of those last 4 games, and who knows, threaten for a playoff spot. sa pagtatapos ng ating Philippine Cup. Now, moving forward to the Governor's Cup champion, itong Barangay Ginebra. Ginebra yung ginamit natin, no? Letter G. Tinanggal na muna natin yung Barangay. But that is the next team that we will be discussing. Intact lineup. Of course, the retirement, the announcement ng retirement itong si Joe Devance. Coach Tim Cone said Mark Caguioa has also quietly retired. We're still waiting for official word kung hindi na ba natin talaga makikita itong si Mark Gaspar Caguioa in the PBA. But aside from these additions, Jason David, Jeremiah Gray na hindi pa maglalaro because he's still coming off that ACL injury, a healthy Stanley Pringle returns for Barangay Ginebra.
And now you pair him up with an uber-confident Scotty Thompson. Grabe. These guys, I think they should be favorites to at least make the semis. At the minimum, semis kagad ang Barangay Ginebra. That's the pressure now on the shoulders of guys like Stanley Pringle and the rest. Tandaan natin, if you are a key player who was injured in the past pero nag-champion pa rin team mo, the pressure is on you.
Yeah.
Kaya nila Kaya nilang Parang si lang yan, yung sinabi ni Draymond dati kay KD, di ba? We won a championship before, we'll win one again. Well, they're back in the finals. Di ba? Yun ikaw yung wala na nakaraan, nanalo naman sila. Let's see what happens this time around.
Similar story with Greg Slaughter before, di ba? Nung nanalo sila ng championship without him and then ultimately won the championship with him for Barangay Ginebra. Let's take a look at the schedule now. Itong Barangay Ginebra, San Miguel, the champions of the Governor's Cup. And, Magu, kailangan nating isingit, di ba? Lahat ng Governor's Cup championship nitong si Tim Cone. I mean, yung dalawa niyang beses na nanalo siya ng Grand Slam, it started with the championship in the Governor's Cup. And since we're back to a 3-conference format, are we looking at another possibility of a Grand Slam for Coach Tim Cone for a third different team? How amazing would that be if he does succeed in pulling that off, Magu?
Di ba lahat or most? Yung San Miguel nung 89, alam ko nanalo din ng third conference nung 88. Di ba? Yung Chris pa, hindi ko maalala kung nag-4 straight din Pero
basta yung malinaw si Coach Tim.
Yun. Yung Alaska, 4 na sunod yun. Yung San Mig Coffee, 4 na sunod din.
Yep.
Diba? So, etong ngayon natitignan mo sa Barangay Ginebra, they get started Blackwater, Rain or Shine, and Magnolia in a span of a week.
Yeah.
When you look at the schedule, this might just be the tightest schedule or the most compressed schedule Barangay Ginebra has had in maybe 10 years or even more. Now we see Ginebra on Wednesdays. You're even gonna see Ginebra on a Thursday night. Dito sa schedule na to, baka manibago rin. Ito mga player ng Barangay Ginebra, they are so used to playing most of their games on Sundays. Panaka-naka, paminsan-minsan may Friday. Pre-pandemic, paminsan-minsan may out of town. Pero hindi sanay ito mga to maglaro ng Wednesday, lalo na syempre na Thursday.
But the schedule, kalat naman, no? You have Magnolia in your first set, San Miguel in the second group, TNT, Meralco, that back-to-back might be a little challenging. But overall, it seems like a well spread out schedule for Ginebra as they look to win their second straight championship. 3 of the last 4 yung kanilang target as they won 2 titles in the pandemic era nitong PBA. Again, you just have to start with Scotty Thompson being at this level, at a possible MVP level, BPC Finals MVP. LA Tenorio is still there as we saw in Game 6 of the Finals. Japet is healthy, Christian is healthy, and then idagdag mo sa halo yung Stanley Pringle na kinakausap ko, no, yung ibang naging guest dun sa sports page, tinanong ko kumusta yung pagbabantay nila kay Stanley Pringle. Sabi nila, kuya, nawawala bigla sa harap mo Sobrang explosive ng Stanley Pringle.
So bumalik na yung malakas yung tuhod.
He's not yet 100% physically, I think, but he's getting there. And even a 90% Stanley Pringle can still be quicker than any defender that's put in front of him. So, I'm sure gigil maglaro itong si Stan.
Yung kasi nakakatakot dun pagka explosive guard, tapos tuhod naging problema, you do not know, you're not too sure how explosive he will be or how he'll be. Pareho ba nung dati? O mas okay lang? O baka mamaya mas lumakas pa because of all the therapy he's gone through?
Yeah.
Pero isang binanggit mo yung isa pa, yung healthy Japet Aguilar.
Yep.
Malaking bagay yan. Kaya nga hindi na rin talaga pinilit sa Gilas. Kinuwento sa atin ni Coach Chotresa na kahit na pinagpapahinga na muna si Japet ng mother team niya and pati na rin ng Gilas Pilipinas, umattend pa rin si Japet araw-araw halos do sa ensayo just to give his moral support. But now, if he's anywhere close to even 90%, alaking bagay nun pagdating sa Philippine Cup.
Yep, and that is why Barangay Ginebra, as we said, one of the favorites to make it to, at the very least, the semifinals here in the Philippine Cup. Moving forward to our fourth team.
Yung June 12, that's gonna be game number 700 din ni LA. It's just
Oh,
worth mentioning. That's just worth mentioning.
Oh.
700 consecutive game ni LA yan kung sakasali.
Kasi game 7 dapat yun di ba? Nung finals.
Yeah. So we'll see you all in Antipolo for that one. In Aras Antipolo, that's a Sunday. Blackwater versus Barangay Nabra.
Our fourth team, Magnolia Templados Hotshots. No? Nagbago ng konti yung pangalan nitong Magnolia, but they were in the finals in the last Philippine Cup. They drafted itong si Carlo De Chavez, but they did not end up signing him. Si Zaldivar is their only addition to this unit. As you can see, ganda ng numero, di ba? 27,
Isa pa yata, Ronnie De Leon. I think he's in the lineup.
He was resigned. Bumalik. Okay. Isa lang yung naging difference. Si Zaldivar lang yung dinagdag talaga itong Magnolia. And why not? Why not bank on the chemistry of an intact roster that made it all the way to the finals and in the semifinals of the Governors Cup as well?
Alam mo naman, mula nung nag-take over si Coach Chito dito, halos minimum semis naman talaga Magnolia. They've been consistent. They've been there. They've been in the thick of the fight. Ever since this group came together na magsama-sama nga itong sina Coach Chito and Paulie and this franchise. And then dinagdag mo pa ngayon in the mix si Calvin Abueva na MVP candidate. Reigning BPC.
Yep.
Reigning BPC pa ng Philippine Cup. I like their move of not really shaking, not rocking the boat right now. Yung chemistry na Magnolia will be there. Sama mo pa yung gutom. Dahil nga, at least nga nung Philippine Cup nakapag-finals pero hindi na pinalad na itong sumunod na conference hanggang semis lang. You want to see them back in action right away and they're going to be on front and center stage. Bukas na bukas versus TNT. Makikita natin what kind of off-season work these guys have been putting in.
Semi-hot take, Magu. If Calvin Abueva did not suffer an injury in the Governors Cup, I think he'd be the favorite to win MVP.
Yeah.
He missed too many games.
Actually, baka malayo, baka maging malayo yung differential if he was healthy enough. So, baka mas galit pa to. If he doesn't win tomorrow, watch out tomorrow night. Diba? Watch out tomorrow night. If he doesn't take it tomorrow afternoon, watch out tomorrow night. But I like the move of sticking with this same squad. One more run it back para dito sa Magnolia Hotshots. Magnolia Templados Hotshots na sila this coming season, diba? So they just want to run it back. They made it all the way to the finals last time. Di lang nagawa ng paraan si Mikey Williams. Let's see tomorrow. Ginebra showed everybody a blueprint of how to slow down Mikey Williams. Let's see if Magnolia picked it up.
Well, he won't be there. So, hindi nila kailangan problemahin itong si Mikey Williams bukas as he has yet to sign a new contract for the TNT Tropang Giga. Mamaya, babalikan natin si Mikey. We will talk at length about his situation, at least from what we have gathered, the information that we have gathered. Bago po natin silipin yung schedule ng Magnolia, dahil pang-apat na team natin to, we will take a quick break just to, give out our shout-outs, diba? Sa mga nanonood, may it be on 2OT or in the Smart Sports Facebook page. And yung mga nanonood din sa YouTube, let us know if you want any shout-outs. May mga birthday na kailangan batiin, sino yung tingin nyo mananalo ng MVP or any particular award. We can definitely give you your shout-outs at this point. But, Gops, balikan muna natin yung schedule nitong Magnolia as we take a look at what they have to accomplish. TNT, yung unang laban nila, and as we said, dahil walang Mikey Williams, Magnolia should be, slightly the favorite for this matchup.
Yan nga, no? They start off with TNT, a rematch right away of the Philippine Cup finals from last season. And then you get Converge and Northport on back-to-backs in a 5-day span. And then yan na. Ito yung mabigat sa kanila para dito sa Magnolia Templados. This weekend, that's a Friday versus San Miguel. That's June 17, Friday. And then on that same weekend, on a Sunday, June 19, Manila Clasico. Yun ang acid test. Yung back-to-back na yan, yung SMB at Barangay Nebra. That's gonna be the acid test para sa Magnolia. They can gauge themselves right there. Might be working both ways. Baka malas na medyo maaga, pero maganda rin, Carlo, na okay, makatapat mo kagad yung dalawang yon, masusukat mo na yung sarili mo before you take on Phoenix and Lex Terra Firma, and then yun na, yung Meralco, yung isa sa yun na siguro yung pinakamalakas sa dulo ng schedule nila. But that weekend, that will be the critical weekend para dito sa Magnolia, just to see, we still expect these guys to be minimum semis. just to see kung magta-twice to beat sila o baka magbe-best of 3. At doon mo na rin makikita pagka na-0 to doon, baka ma-endanger to na twice to win bigla pagdating ng quarterfinals. You can tell that early in the schedule, di ba?
Yep. So yun, 17 and 19, no? Isang araw na pahinga sa pagitan ng SMB at Barangay Ginebra. Let's see how, Magnolia will try to overcome that big challenge early. As you said, Maguno, yung TNT, kulang ng Mikey Williams. Convergent Northport should be good matchups, but a little bit in favor of Magnolia. But yung SMB at Barangay Ginebra, dyan talaga magkakasubukan. Yan po ang ating schedule for Magnolia. And after our 4 teams, yes, Magu.
Magsha-shoutouts muna tayo, di ba?
Yep.
I apologize to Northport this early. Di ba winning basket lang yan? Noong nakaraan, yung Northport Magnolia.
Yep.
Nakadikdik yan nakadikit yan sa Magnolia. So,
inbound
winning
lang.
Basket ni Abueva, di ba?
Inbound lang.
Oh, tama. Inbound lang. Ngayon pa lang. Sorry pa mga... Berto Bolik. Sorry. Baka magalit si Berto eh.
So, shoutout muna tayo, Maguno, as we welcome our viewers from Smart Sports and 2OT. Shoutout po kay Patrick Grijalde, kay George Estoque, Mark Jason Calapati, Omar Nathan Pangilinan, Vic Ocampo, Inigo Gabriel Abante, sabi ni Vic Ocampo, for me, Scotty Thompson, MVP. Sabi ni Priscel de Los Santos Canaway, I love my Ginebra. Sana makapanood ako ng live ng Ginebra game. Sana nga po, makasama kayo sa live venue one of these days. Boss Carlo, pa-shoutout naman. Sabi ni Inigo, hi Inigo. Si Nicole Shane Doctolero, shoutout from Cagayan Valley. Scotty Thompson pa rin, BGSM fan solid. Sabi niya, Ian Campos, Juanito Elivera, saka sina Joshua Lapitan also watching, Henry's watching, Dondon Manlunas from Talisay, Cebu, Juanito Chavez, sabi niya BGSM lang ang Sakalam, Oji Sales Sigara, magandang gabi po, at si Muriel Merete from Zamboanga. Shoutout po sa inyo lahat. Thank you for hanging out with me and Magu Marjon dito sa ating episode ng 2OT. Magu?
Dito sa 2OT, madami din, Carlos. Sabi ni Gilbert Torno, game na po. Opo, bukas na bukas. Game na po tayong lahat. Nerloba says, shoutout mga sirs. Si Brian Raj, manonood daw siya bukas. Magpapapicture sa'yo, Carlo. Kami pong dalawa ni Pamintuan, nasa Red Gate. Hanapin nyo kami sa Red Gate do sa opening. Ano ba tayo? Sa opening o sa Leos?
I think
basta sa Paga.
Throughout.
Meron tayong pwestuhan doon. Cyril Jury Damian says, good evening mga sirs. Watching from Baliwag, Bulacan. Kamusta po kayo? Lahat ng taga Bulacan. Alan Isley says, shout out from Angono Rizal. Scotty for MVP. Sabi naman ni Alan Alagaw Kalawod. Kanina nga tinatanong natin. Before we wrap up, pag nakompleto natin yung dosing teams, magkikwento natin konti. Yung Leos naman. Kita-kits bukas, rain or shine. Sabi ni Brian Christian Bulan. Shout out to my son Joaquin from Imus Cavite. Sabi ni Jilsey Black Mamba Sature. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. John Patrick Magat, magandang gabi din sa iyo. Good evening mga sirs. Pa-shout out sa mga taga Muntinlupa. Sabi ni Job Garcia. At marami pa.
One more batch ako, Magu. Abs Hawari Amilula from Zamboanga City, Priscel de Los Santos Canaway from Mauban, Quezon, Alexander Sorne, si Angel Vicentino. Tapos, meron pa dito.
May taga Mauban?
Oh, meron daw.
Pahabhab ka naman. Sarap.
Mark Luis Mapalo from Pangasinan. Kanina may Lacson family. Magandang hapon po sa Lacson family.
May kapitbahay ka dito, Carlos. Si Michael Gomez, shout out daw from Angeles City.
Uy, tropa, sa sa susunod na eleksyon, wag mong kakalimutan. Magparehistro at bumoto, sa paparating po nating eleksyon.
Yun lang pala. Paparating na eleksyon, ang tagal pa nun.
Makialam. Ngayon pa lang nag-uumpisa na ako, nag-hire na ako ng TikTok army. Makwento ko lang, no? Kasi medyo na-excite ako dahil may nakita akong storya. Medyo nag-viral to, couple of weeks ago siguro. Nakita mo yung nag-viral na picture, Filipino na basketball player. Tapos napagkatuwaan, sinabi nila siya si Trey Old kasi kamukha ni Trey Young pero mas matanda ng konti.
Hindi lang.
Siyempre, yung iba parang okay naman, positive, katuwaan lang. Yung iba below the belt yung hirit, di ba? Tapos nalaman ko, Kapampangan pala siya. taga Mexico. So sabi ko parang naghanap tayo ng paraan, shout out kay Kabalen Hoops, naghanap tayo ng paraan na mahingi yung contact details nitong si Trey Old na nabansagan kasi gusto nating bigyan siya ng konting pampasaya lang. 'Di ba? Nabugbog ng mga nabugbog ng mga nagko-comment. So sabi ko, one of these days, papadala natin siya ng sapatos if mabigay sa atin yung contact details niya, if we'll be able to talk to him. Para lang, 'di ba? Good vibes tayo lahat, 'di ba? Hindi dahil napagkatuwaan kayo, dapat nang malugmok. 'Yun yung gagawin natin in the upcoming episode nitong 2OT.
Ang akala ko pa naman konsehal lang tatakboy mo, board member na yata ang balak mo.
Taga Mexico kasi yung nanay ko eh. So yung tatay ko taga Angeles. So kung saan tayo mananalo, doon tayo.
Mag-governor ka na para buong
Oy, grabe naman, baka marinig ni ano yan, Delta.
Lagot ka kay Delta.
Bawiin mo yung sinabi mo magumar doon. Relax ka lang.
Board member na lang, board
member. Counselor po muna. Anyway, magandang gabi po sa lahat ng nanonood. Good vibes lang tayo dito sa 2OT. Siyempre palagi. Again, bukas magsisimula ang ating competition. Another team that we're looking forward to seeing is Meralco.
Meralco na next.
So consistent. Conference in, conference out. At least semis yung napapasok nitong Meralco Bolts. Alam natin in the PBA bubble na Scotty Thompson lang, 'di ba? Natirahan lang nung kanto as they were, possibly headed into the finals. We all know what happened in the Governor's Cup, so kung saan kinulang ulit sila in Game 6 against Barangay Ginebra. But you can see that finally itong Meralco did not pull out too many additions. Wala masyadong ginalaw sa lineup, 'di ba? Basic na basic, Kyle Pascual, Fajarito of course added to their roster, but their core will remain intact dahil mukhang may tiwala na ito na, nabuo na natin yung kupunan na kailangan natin to win a championship. All we need is another chance.
I'm actually a little surprised.
Mm-hmm.
When you binanggit mo na nga, intact yung Meralco. They're coming off 4 bridesmaid finishes sa Barangay Nebra. Pagdating ng Govs Cup yan, of course. I thought there would be a shakeup, pero I guess they're gonna run it back one more time with this same squad.
Yeah.
Hopefully for the Bolts, though, they get a much healthier Chris Banquero. Chris Banquero, tinago nilang injury.
Yeah.
After the fact, now we can say it, kasi huli na rin naman natin nabalitaan, mga 2 weeks ago lang, last week, na hindi pala nag-ensayo si Chris Banquero during that entire stretch na nandun siya sa Meralco because of yung tama niya sa ribs. He was just forcing himself to play pagdating ng games. Nakakakwentuhan din natin doon sa MOA, doon sa Araneta, even before games, sinasabi lang niya palagi, he's okay, he's ready to go, he's good to go. Pati sa atin, tinago ni Banquero na may tama siya. Yung pala na hindi na nakaka-ensayo yung tao.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Banquero can prove everybody wrong, including us, including me, na tama naman pala yung pagkakakuha sa kanya netong Meralco Bolts. Let's see what happens with this squad this coming Philippine Cup.
Silipin natin ngayon yung schedule nitong Meralco Bolts. Will it be tough at the start? Will it be a crawl in the middle part or in the end? Of course, we need to make sure na diba, itong Meralco, we need to see them more in the semifinals kasi nga nagiging consistent na sila, diba? Dati in the Philippine Cup, halos ilista mo na hindi magka-qualify yung Meralco. They've struggled when they don't have imports, but since the addition of Raymond Almazan, of all the pieces that they put together, yung huli na nga dyan, itong si Chris Banquero in the Governor's Cup, they are a force to contend with. A bit of a decent start, you could say, kasi in terms of talent, nandyan yung Phoenix, nandyan yung Converge before taking on TNT, Northport, NLEX, Blackwater, rain or shine. Tapos ito yung stretch na medyo mabibigatan siguro yung Meralco. Barangay Ginebra, Magnolia, San Miguel Beer before they close their schedule with Terra Firma.
Ang silipin mo dyan, Carlo, yung dates. That Ginebra, Magnolia, San Miguel stretch is in a span of a week. That's 5 days. 13, 15, 17. Right there. Yun yung magiging killer stretch. Kaya para sa Meralco, kailangan makapuhunan ka ng maaga. Hindi sa pagka po sinasabi namin, okay, may Phoenix, okay, may Converge, hindi namin po ini-small yung mga team na. We're just basing it on ano pinanggagalingan ng Meralco, galing finals yon, ano pinanggalingan ng Phoenix, pati nung Converge, which used to be Alaska. Kaya yun yung sinasabi natin na dapat liyamado sila doon. Pero syempre, bilog ang bola, everybody's got their news, things coming in, merong preparation ng off-season. Yung binibase lang natin yung assumptions natin doon sa pinanggalingan nila from last season. So, kailangan makapuhunan ng maaga etong Meralco. You got Phoenix, you got Converge, you got Northport right there, and you got Blackwater before and Rain or Shine before that killer 5-day stretch. That's Hell Week. Kumbaga, ano yung, hindi, di ba, midterms? Hell Week natin pagka finals na, di ba? Pagka sa college, Carlo. Yan na yun. Isang linggo, masusubukan ka.
And now moving forward to the NLEX Road Warriors, our next team on tap. NLEX sporting an intact lineup. Of course, alam din natin na nagkaka-kuro-kuro pa in terms of will they have Kiefer Ravena, will they not have Kiefer Ravena for the Philippine Cup. Very few additions for the NLEX Road Warriors. Kevin Alas played a monster conference magu in the Governor's Cup. Calvin Oftana is healthy, to start the conference. And yung chemistry, yung pagiging intact, dyan din babangko si Coach Hengia.
At yung kumpiyansa nila, Carlo, na alam na, I think every single guy on that team believes kung hindi kailangan umuwi ni KJ McDaniels yun, nasa final sila. So this intact team, all Filipino naman tayo ngayon, solid yung pinakitang guys like you mentioned, sina Alas and the rest of those guys, and sa pagbabalik ni Oftana, and even si Nieto, nagbabalik from injury. I think nandun sa minimum netong NLEX, yung middle na sa best of 3. Depende na lang kung sino makatapat pang semis to. Ganun kaganda yung tinatakbo ng NLEX. Ganun din kataas yung nakikita nating kumpiyansa oozing out of these players and the coaching staff. Baka maka twice to beat, pero minimum na neto doon na sa best of 3. Yung ang twice to beat po 1-2, twice to beat ng 7-8. 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5, yun po yung magbe-best of 3. Depende na lang sa makakatapat neto to see if they make the semis at least.
They could have actually added another, exciting rookie in Tyrus Hill, pero they opted to ship him to another squad in Converge. Kapalit niya itong kanilang first overall pick in the next season. So napakalaking bagay niyan, Magu, di ba? Those first rounders are always important, especially ngayon na nagbago na nga po yung tema ng PBA in terms of who is allowed to apply for the PBA draft. And now let's look at the schedule nitong NLEX Road Warriors. Mahirap ba? Madali ba sa umpisa? Kaya bang makakumpiyansa itong NLEX? Let's see, because as you said, Magu, dapat napakalaki ng pagkakataon nito na pumasok sa finals, diba? You had a best import of the conference candidate in KJ McDaniel. Si Brownlee kasi humabol diba? At the start, Justin Brownlee was not playing well. Wala sa condition pa itong si JB. Si KJ din naman was not in great condition upon his entry into NLEX and the PBA. But in terms of consistency dun sa buong conference, ang ganda talaga nung nilalaro nitong si KJ.
He would have been best import if he only played come late in the postseason like that. Pero kailangan mo dahil na-stall tayo ng 1 month. Hindi naman din kasalanan ni KJ, hindi rin kasalanan ng NLEX. You gotta love how NLEX just released him like that then. Dun mo makikita rin how Coach Yang and the NLEX management treats their players na, ito usapan natin, kailangan mo umuwi. Go ahead, sirs. Diba?
Ayun lang yung schedule, Magu. Terra Firma, San Miguel, TNT, Barangay Ginebra, Meralco. Those are 4 of the 5 are semifinals contenders. Doon sa unang 5 laro nitong NLEX. But again, nanggugulat itong si Coach Yang, di ba? They've been able to upset teams that are stronger on paper. So it will be very interesting to see kung paano magsisimula itong Road Warriors.
What I like about their spread of their schedule right now, yung Rain or Shine, 9. Yung Blackwater, 15. July na to And then yung Northport, 22. So kung ano man ang nangyari dito sa simula para sa NLEX, meron kang panghabol sa dulo and you've got a lot of time to prepare. That's a week apart. 6 days and 7 days apart. Yung last 3 games mo. Yun lang yung maganda sa NLEX ngayon. Kung makapuhunan ng maganda, di pang twice to beat na kagad sila pagdating sa dulo. Kung medyo nag-struggle naman dito sa early middle part, meron kang panghabol pagdating sa dulo because ang laking bagay na 6 days, 7 days preparation yan, Carla.
Yep, of course. Especially at the tail end of the competitions, no? Dun sa padulo na inaabot na ng pagod, ng injuries even, yung mga koponan.
You expect people to be banged up by that point, di ba?
Yung NLEX, alam naman natin, di ba? Balance yung minuto, walang babad na babad. Everyone, gets their fair share of chances from Coach Yang Giao. Susunod po natin silipin Northport, Batang Pier, another team that we're very excited about, Magu. Kasi isang pangalan, Robert Bolick. He is a franchise player and they added itong si JM Calma who will have to play a big role for Northport dahil wala pa nga po itong si Troy Reich sa kanilang lineup. We know that they're still not going to have Greg Slaughter. Hindi pa rin nakapag-agree sa kontrata ang Northport at si Greg Zilla. But when you have Robert Bolick, any game you can win because that's just how good of a player he is.
And just like how we were talking about yung nangyari sa NLEX in the previous conference, kita mo naman yung nangyari sa Northport doon. 0-6. And then made that major run and andun almost there. Pinento natin yung Blackwater, nakatikim ng isang panalo at least pagdating sa dulo, magandang pabaon. Yun yung pabaon dito kina Coach Pido. That major run sa ganda ng nilaro nila, mahusay din yung import of course, but everybody else was playing big time. Binanggit mo na si Berto Bolick. Arwin Santos just resigned. Jamie Malonzo just resigned.
Yeah.
Maganda yung kalalagyan netong Northport. Makabuelo lang sila Coach Dopids na maganda-ganda early on in this tournament. Wag lang yung naghahabol katulad nung nakaraan.
Well, let's check out the schedule nitong Northport, no? Pero makwento ko lang, di ba sa PBA Media Day, pinagtitripan yung mga rookies, pinapasayaw, di ba after nung interview, pinapasayaw sila, ganun. Si Arwin, bilang siya isang leader ng team, sumama doon sa sayaw ng mga rookies. Hindi nagpaiwan, nag-TikTok si Arwin. Hindi importante kung rookie siya, kung 40 plus na siya na former PBA MVP. Sinamahan niya yung mga rookies doon sa kanilang mga sayaw. Ang performance, kulitan lang doon sa PBA Media Day.
Si Arwin pa, hindi papahulihan.
Ako naman.
Hindi papahulihan.
Ako naman.
Ito schedule nila, Carlo. Rain or shine, Terra Firma, and then you hit Magnolia before you take on Blackwater. Pagdating dito sa bandang dulo, yung Phoenix, Ginebra, and Lex na sunod-sunod, doon magkakaalaman para dito sa Batang Pier. We want them to at least compete for that semifinal slot. We want to see them in the quarterfinals, but it will all depend on how they play in these early games. Hindi sila pwede ma-0-6 just like before. You go 3-3, you go 4-2 in the early games, maganda na kalalagyan mo.
I think the target should be a 3-1 for Northport, di ba? For this start. Hindi po natin sinasabi na automatic na tatalunin nila or mas malakas sila sa Rain or Shine, Terra Firma at Blackwater. But the point is, in the PBA, you need to beat the teams na at least nandun sa level mo in terms of talent and personnel, di ba? Bago ka umabot dun sa mga San Miguel Beer, sa mga Barangay Ginebra, Magnolia, TNT, Meralco. Yung mga, nasa level ng talent. Kailangan talaga, yun yung puhunan mo to be able to make it into the next stage, into the quarterfinals. Decent first week for Northport Batang Pier in terms of schedule. So tingnan natin kung anong magiging tema ng kampanya ng koponan ni Coach Pido Harencio as we forward to our 8th team, itong Phoenix Super LPG Fuel Masters.
Uy, pagkatapos na ito, shoutout tayo, pang-8 na to, di ba?
Yep. Sa mga gusto po ng shoutouts, i-post nyo na po yan, may it be on Smart Sports or 2OT or YouTube if you have any questions for us. Susubukan naming sagutin yan. And if you have any thoughts dun sa paparating na Leo Awards, also post those as Coach Topex Robinson will lead this team once again, featuring itong si Matthew Wright and si Jason Perkins. No fresh contract for Matthew Wright, but he has committed to play out the rest of his contract in the Philippine Cup.
It's been that kind of a ride para kay Coach Topex Robinson. Ang daming uncertainty. Dito sa tenure ni Coach Topex, nawala si Calvin, napalitan ng Muscleman, nawala din naman pati itong si Vic Manuel, and then pati yung Justin Chua nawala sa kanila,
nawala ng Chris Manquero,
and then now Matthew Wright, uncertain pa yung long-term future, but at least for the Philippine Cup, he has committed to play. Coach Topex has done a yeoman's job to keep this squad focused, Carlo. Ibang klase yung pagpiloto, pagmando ni Coach Topex because of just everything what we just said, Carlo.
Yep. And yung maganda sa kanila, kahit na wala silang first round pick, I think they had a really good performance dun sa draft, no? Tyler Teo, Chris Lalata, and Enzo Serrano. Let me just say this, no? Dun sa dun sa mock draft, you were very high on Enzo Serrano. Yes. You thought he was going third. Yes. He fell. Roy Sumang type of fall. Di ba? Parang ang layo nung binagsak nitong si Enzo Serrano. But if you ask some of his teammates, they said they wouldn't be surprised if he challenges for Rookie of the Year. Ganun kataas yung tiwala nila kay Enzo.
Dun sa kina Jot at kina Denise, etong, ano ba tawag dun? Sports page.
Sports page, yeah.
Yung mga rookie mismo, the Wednesday episode, yung mga rookie mismo, hiningan sila ng all-rookie team. Yeah. All-rookie Mythical 5. And I think 90% of the rookies put Enzo Serrano right there. Yeah. Yeah. And these are his peers. Yun yung mga kalaban niya, yun yung mga kasama niyang pumanagin yung ka-draft class niya. So let's see kung ito si Enzo Serrano can live up to the hype. So it wasn't just me, I wasn't the only one hyping. Pati yung mga kapwa niya rookie, hina-hype to si Enzo Serrano. Let's see what happens. But this team will still get to where Matthew Wright and Jason Perkins takes them. They can go as far as those two can get them.
Ganito na lang, Magu. Pag nag-Rookie of the Year si Enzo Serrano, huyo kaming lahat sa'yo.
Dali, ilang game ba mamimintis ni Brandon Rosser? Pagka nakamintis ng 50% ng games yan. Kailangan 70 malaro mo, di ba? Pagka 31% ng games na miss niya.
Magu kahit top 5 contender lang, huyo kaming lahat sa'yo.
Tama. Yung mga peers din niya eh.
Yeah.
Ang kailangan lang, umabot lang sa playoffs tong Phoenix.
Yep, that is the requirement. As we've seen in the past, parang umaabot lagi dun sa knockout game, dun sa pag ganun-ganun yung Phoenix.
Isa pa 8-8, di ba?
Yep. Let's see if they can actually play better here in the
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. Let's take a look at the schedule, Guaps. It's gonna be tough for this squad. But if they can keep focused the way Coach Topex has really tried to get them focused on the task at hand, we should see them at least compete dun sa baka twice to win. Pero syempre, target mo na mag-best of 3. Kasi simula pa lang, SMB tsaka Meralco na kagad yung makakatapat mo. Bago ka makahinga ng konti in your third and fourth games, Carlo.
Yep, tough schedule to start. Tapos may back-to-back ka na Magnolia, TNT. Tapos yung pandulo mo, Barangay Ginebra. Sila yung naglaglagan, di ba? If you remember. Barangay Ginebra and Phoenix yung naglaban para dun sa KO match a couple of conferences ago. So it would be a tough ride for Phoenix. But, if there's a coach who can really maximize the potential from his team, buo naman yung tiwala natin kay Coach Topex Robinson.
Yung SMB Meralco, masungkitan mo ng isa, ang laking bagay na eh.
Oo,
go 3-1, 4-1, di ba?
Pangkumpiyansa. Let's take a look at our shoutouts na, Magu. Magbabasa ako from Smart Sports. Jerry Kabigting Dungon, Rining Salansang, sabi niya, tingin niya si Scottie Thompson na mag-MVP. Art Ortiz, shoutout po. Mike Gambrajo from Mindoro. J.R. Olivar Susalo, any news po kay JV Mocon? He has not yet agreed to a contract with Rainer Shine, and I think they've been looking for trade partners for JV Mocon. So wala pa pong balita.
First round pick lang,
I think so. I think
first round pick, okay na Rainer Shine daw.
Pero sa basa ko, it would be difficult for a team who could give up a first round pick na hindi mag-salary dump ng konti. Baka kailangan kumuha rin ng player itong Rainer Shine. At least dun sa nakikita natin, nalatag ng mga lineup. So let's see if we'll be able to see JV Mocon in the early part of the Philippine Cup. Scotty ang MVP ko, Sir Magu, sabi ni Joel Panlilio. Si Richard Pinaman, sabi niya Mikey Williams, All-Filipino champion, Finals MVP, surefire Rookie of the Year, 2-time BPC nominee. Na-nominate nga naman po siya in the Philippine Cup. And the Governor's Cup, please po sana shout out kay Ate Maris, birthday niya bukas. Sabi niya, manalo sana yung Magnolia niya. And si Ate Chami, Nicole Chamzon, kumusta din sila? Angelo Dacanay, shoutout po from Bacoor, Cavite. Sabi ni Glenford Villas, Ginebra versus NLEX sa finals. Oh, that's a good call. Shoutout naman po Kuya Carlo at Kuya Magu. Bata niyo po ako. Sabi ni Giovanni Halalon, mabuhay ka, Gio Halalon.
Ayan ka na naman, Giovanni. Kamusta, sirs?
Siyempre, dahil nagparamdam na rin ito si Gio Halalo, ni-announce natin na may binibenta siyang condo. Kung may naghahanap po sa inyo ng condo, visit niyo yung Instagram page nitong si Giovanni Halalo. Tulungan natin, di ba? Ahente tayo, 5% yan pag nabenta. Sabihin niyo po, narinig namin yung advertisement mula sa 2OT pag bibili niyo yung condo ni Gio Halalo. Para...
Hindi ba 3% lang? Tinubuan mo ng 2
online tayo eh. Kailangan pa.
Nangyari.
Roland Fairbanks, si Jackie Bustos Lopez, sabi niya, Abueva ang kanyang MVP. Noel Pasco from Ozamis. Shout out kay Dante Malalay Jr. watching from Clark. Richie Santos. Si Andrew Oplas, si JJ Dagdag, sabi niya, JP Dagdag, may maaga siyang bet. Rookie of the Year daw in the incoming season is Gio Ambojo. Wow, good call. Let's see if he'll be able to accomplish that. Happy anniversary sa asawa nitong si Jackie Bustos Lopez at sa kanya, Jack Canlas Lopez. Magandang gabi po. Happy anniversary and thank you for hanging out with us here on 2OT.
We've got 4 more teams to discuss pero pasadaan na nga natin to para sa dulo. Konti na lang sana. Shoutout sa lahat ng taga San Antonio, Zambales, sabi ni Delon Navales. Beachfront ba kayo? Baka may kwarto kayo dyan. Tinatanong ni Brian Raj, nasa Patron ba kayo? Nasa Red Gate po kami ng Araneta bukas. Si Ernie, assessor, update kay Greg Slaughter. Hindi pa po sila nagkakasundo sa kontrata. Danlen San Andres, the second or the third? Basta si Danlen, pa-shoutout. Official retired na po ba si Mark Kagiwa?
Hirap sabihin eh.
As per Coach Tim, retired daw. Pero si Mark nasa States po, pero babalik dito in a few weeks. May nasikaso lang doon. Malalaman natin pagka po nakabalik na siya. Manalang family ng Santa Teresita, Angeles City. Kamusta kayo? Sabi ni Kenneth Padua. Alam mo yung Santa Teresita?
Oo naman.
Mag-house-to-house ka dyan.
Maraming mga barbecue ang masarap dyan. Punta tayo.
Masarap nga mag-house-to-house doon.
Wag po kayo makakalimot sa susunod na election. 2025 ba yung susunod?
Pakiganda yung paghagod nung
Sa 2025 po? Yeah.
Dodge Moto. Uy, ng Batangas.
Tropa natin yan.
Appear tayo dyan, sir. High five daw, high five. Shoutout sa lahat ng Magnolia fans. Sabi ni Jay Almanzar, good evening, Idol Carlo and Sir Magu. Sabi ni Ives Luis Hicana. Hi din daw, sabi ni Jericho Hanolo. And si Ryan Yusef Lopez. 2 years na raw siya nakasumbaybay dito. Sa tuloy, maraming
Sabi mo ulit.
Ryan Yusef Lopez.
Nakasubaybay. 2 years lang.
Yeah. Nakasubaybay. Nabulo lang. Ito naman. Ito may tubig ko.
Para lang malabas ng tama. More greetings. Si Roland Fairbanks, si Kasem Romulo, solid Pure Foods fan daw siya. Oscar De Torres, Arivel Galvez Sanchez Oyronet, Joshua Monstrado, sabi ni Jerwin Mateo, MVP Thompson, Mike Gambrajo, excited na daw marinig yung boses mo, Sir Magu. May kauban pang foul, Elmer Sagon, dito sa Barangay Lourdes Sur, Angeles City. So, kung lahat lang nung nanonood sa atin na taga-Angeles, bumoto sa akin ng 2025, may 4 na ako, Magu.
May 4 na boto.
May 4 na ako. May aasahan na akong 4 na boboto sa akin.
Si Chelsea Black Mamba sa Ture nagtatanong, Magu, may katabi ka bang brown cold bottle? Wala po. Tubig ang katabi natin. Alas 11 call time namin ni Carlo bukas. Bale 10:30 mag-antigen pa kami. maaga trabaho bukas. Sabi ni Salvador Bonilla, patapusin niyo muna NBA. Bakit di ba pwede sabay?
Umaga naman yun eh.
At saka bukas maghapon tayo yung NBA sa Lunes pa. And every 3 days yung finals. Anong gagawin natin sa pagitan? Pambira ka naman. Kung ikaw, sir, gusto mong patapusin mo na, okay lang sa amin. Kami po, excited kami lahat. No opening na kami bukas.
At kailangan po namin kumita.
Uy, Zafe family ng Catanduanes at Lopez family ng Paniki Tarlac. Magandang gabi sa inyo. Sabi ni Jeffrey Zafe, most improved player dapat di kasali si Bolick at Thompson kasi MVP candidate na sila.
Well, it
pero
depends
diba nga,
sila nang galing
sa hindi masyado and then MVP candidate, malaking improvement na rin.
Pero mo, Magu, may nagka-comment na dito, sabi niya, Darwin Castro Domingo, pa-shoutout Sir Carlo and Sir Magu, good PM po, taga Angeles City rin ako.
5 na.
Si Sir Carlo pala, Kapampangan ka pala. Opo, Kapampangan ko po, born and raised in Pulong Bulo, Angeles City. Yes po, Kapampangan po.
Sa 2025, black voting tayo.
5 na yan. 5 na yan. Benson Resuelo from Pangasinan. Possible po ba magkaroon ng out-of-town game? Sabi po ni Commissioner, may chance. Maybe in the second or third conference, mas malamang third conference daw yung pwede nating mapasadahan ng out-of-town games. Jackie Bustos Lopez nagtatanong kung Kapampangan. Opo, Kapampangan. Tune, Kapampangan. As we have more greetings, Charlene Palarca Asenas. May tanong kanina dito eh. Sabi niya, tingin niyo ba, Sir Carlos, Sir Magu, kung pumasok ng at least semifinals yung TNT, advantage na ni Mikey Williams yung MVP? Ganito lang po kasimple. Sino ba yung tatanggalin niya dapat to make it into the semifinal?
Scotty.
Exactly. So yes, in terms of just you and I talking about it and asking what if, kung nanalo po si Mikey Williams at ang import nilang si...
Di mo naman sinabing tatanong mo na naman yan eh. Sino nga ba import nun? Dapat pinaalala mo kanina. Pwede ka namang, mamaya tatanungin ulit kita, tapos kunwari magulat ka. Huwag ka namang nanggugulat ng totoo. Hindi ba pwedeng scripted?
kung nanalo po sila, I would say that it's
MVP
close to a guarantee na rookie MVP. Yep. Ngayon, syempre, naging medyo mahirap dahil quarterfinals nga lang yung inabot nitong si Mikey. But if he made it to the semis, eliminating Scotty, yes, that would have been an easy award to give out.
Oy, alas 9 na, may 4 na team pa.
Sige, Leon Gilmore, sabi ni Mark Ronald De Leon ang pangalan.
Ay, buti naalala nyo na naman, ano?
Yung TNT, Rain or Shine. Silipin naman natin yung mga ginawa nitong Rain or Shine in the offseason. Of course, Mamuyak, Sean Ildefonso, Jonard Clarito, yung mga dinagdag nilang players. Malaking kawalan, no? Yung JV Mocon, leading rebounder, leading assist man of all the locals for Rain or Shine in the season. He will not be playing with them. We don't know. Baka magkasundo pa sa kontrata yung dalawang sides na yan. But again, if you're Rain or Shine, you've built your team in terms of everyone stepping up. Lahat kayang tumrabaho, lahat kayang tumulong sa Rain or Shine.
But they're coming off a really rough season. Transition period under Coach Chris Gavina.
Yeah.
Ito naman yung win-loss record nila. 9-15 for the year lang.
Yeah.
Ito Rain or Shine. Their defense is good. Ganda ng depensa nila, pero hindi rin naman nila ma-shoot yung bola on the other end. So, di ba, you need a balance in it. You want low-scoring ball games, pero gusto mo mas mababa pa rin yung score ng kalaban kaysa sa'yo. Sabi sa atin ni Coach Jong Wichigo yan, di ba? Kahit na low-scoring ball game, kung mas mataas pa rin sila, problema yan. It's been a rough season para dito sa Rain or Shine. Hopefully, these guys, si Mamu, si Sean, si Clarito, hopefully, they can come and fill in some roles there. Walang Mocon, wala pang James Yap for the time being. You still got the vets there in Belga. You've still got Gabe Norwood playing for you. It's pretty hard to predict until we see how Rain or Shine plays. Yung bukas, first game sila. First game sila bukas sa bukas. Until we see not just one, maybe 2 or 3 games, that's when we can put our finger on how Rain or Shine might do this tournament. Ikaw,
I think they will be competitive, Magu. If you're banking on defense, alam naman nila yung gagawin. So it's a matter of giving themselves the opportunities to score. Diba? And when you have Mamuyak there, Sean Ildefonso, Jonard Clarito is a scorer. So may mga exciting additions for Rain or Shine. Let's see how they deal with this schedule that is coming up. Again, sila po yung magbubukas ng ating PBA 47th season. Pagkatapos po ng Leo Awards, pagkatapos ng opening ceremony na makikita rin natin yung mga muse mamaya-maya, di ba? May listahan tayo ng mga muse.
Nagawa ba ni Guaps?
Sila po yung lalaban.
Listahan lang, walang picture?
Northport, Ginebra, Phoenix, TNT, ayun yung mabigat. TNT, SMB, Meralco, tapos may NLEX pa. 4 na kupunan na mabigat-bigat ang kailangang trabahuhin itong Rain or Shine.
Ang maganda lang doon, I guess, yung TNT, SMB, 6 days apart. And then another 7 days, yung San Miguel and Meralco. Pero yun, mabilis yung turnaround na. Meralco and Lex, 3 days apart. Yep. Pero at the very least, meron kang time to prepare for galing ka sa TNT, prepare ka sa SMB, galing ka sa SMB, prepare ka sa Meralco.
May araw, no?
That will define their campaign. That stretch na tinuro mo right there, Carlo.
Yep. Moving forward now to the San Miguel Biermann. Junmar Fajardo is in shape. He is in beast mode once again. And will he reclaim his old spot at the top of the food chain sa PBA? Junmar lost, sabi niya kahapon sa akin, no? 30 pounds. Ganun karami yung...
Ang bilis na eh. Ang bilis na abay ngayon eh, no?
Sabi niya dati daw, okay siya in being heavy kasi dinadaganan niya halos, di ba? Pag pumoposte siya, he puts his entire weight dun sa defender, nakakaubos talaga ng energy when you're defending Junmar carrying his weight. But now, sabi niya, to be kinder to his legs, bawas ng konti. Be a little bit more mobile, syempre nakita rin natin how the opposing teams involved him in as many ball screen situations to test his lateral ability. So yan yung mga gustong pagtrabahuhan. Itong si Junmar, CJ Perez will be there, of course, Marcio, Chris Ross, Vic Manuel. Terence Romeo will not be starting out their campaign dahil injured pa nga po, may back issues itong si Terence Romeo. But even with the injury to Terence Romeo, di mo naman makakayala na yung lineup nitong San Miguel Beer wala talagang butas. I mean, from top to bottom, they are the most stacked, most loaded lineup in the PBA.
You see them coming off a season wherein, sasabihin na marami disappointing. They still had a winning record. That's a 19-13 win loss through 2 conferences.
Yeah.
Hindi lang talaga maganda, hindi lang naging favorable para sa kanila yung mga quarterfinals matchups nila.
Yep.
But this is still a very dangerous team. They've got a year under their collars together. Junmar still being the centerpiece, but they're retooled. Nawala na yung Death 5 and all that. We've been talking about it extensively. It's time for etong sina CJ Perez and the rest of the newer guys, Jericho Cruz and all that, to really come together under Coach Leo Austria, what he wants done para makahanap ulit ng ganong kagandang success etong SMB. 1 or 2 games into it, we can tell kung magiging twice to beat kagad ang SMB or mapupunta na naman sa gitna to do sa best of 3.
Sure. GP Faundo, Michael Canete signed as a 13th and 14th player sa roster nitong San Miguel Biermann. Dahil nga sa bigat nila, sa dami ng stars, kinailangan nilang kumuha pa ng 2 sasali sa kanilang roster. Faundo, of course, played for Northport. Michael Canete, I think last saw action for Meralco. And they will be the final additions to SMB. And let's take a look at the schedule, Magu, kung ano ba yung pagdadaanan nitong San Miguel Biermann. Of course, Cruz, di ba, nandyan din. Napakabigat talaga ng lineup nitong San Miguel Beer.
It's just a matter of coming together. Kasi the talent is there.
Yep.
Tignan natin kung paano na natimpla ni Coach Leo yung lineup niya heading into the season. They got started on Wednesday. Phoenix sa kagad ang kanilang makakatapat. And then, merong NLEX, Magnolia, Ginebra. Right away. Pagkatapos ng Phoenix na, you expect them to compete. You expect them to be even medyo llamado pa kontra sa Phoenix. Pero yung NLEX, Magnolia, Ginebra stretch yan. Mabigat yan, Carlo.
Yep. And then they have Converge, Rain or Shine, Northport before taking on TNT, Blackwater, Terra Firma, Meralco. So kalat-kalat naman, yung mga tough games nitong San Miguel Beer. Again, it's just all a matter of getting everything together. Ganun lang talaga di ba? Dati, doon sa Death 5, malinaw kung sino yung bubuhat. The 5 get at least 35, even 40 minutes per game. Everyone else will play their few minutes here and there just to help out, just to give themselves a breather. Pero yung naging difference is when you have this much talent on your squad, ang hirap talaga. It has been very challenging for Coach Leo Austria dahil, di ba, paano mo ilalaro si Motau Tua, si Vic Manuel, at si Junmar Fajardo na lahat talaga kailangan ng minuto to be effective. And that has been the biggest challenge in front of the San Miguel Biermann.
So, malalaman natin, dyan, sa stretch na yan, that NLEX, Magnolia, Ginebra stretch, doon natin mag-gauge kung how far along this current pool of Biermann, this current team has come together. Doon magkakala. If these guys come together, kahit anong team fan ka pa ng hindi San Miguel, alam mo matatakot ka. Pag nakita mong nag-iba this year sa kumpara sa 19-13 pa yun yung last year pero hindi sila masyado nakakatakot.
Medyo
pag nakita mo itong first 4 games nag 4-0 to, kabahan na ang lahat bigla,
Medyo hot take, Magu, feeling ko mambabalya yung San Miguel Beer. I mean, it's been too long since they won their last championship. And it's always championship or bust for the San Miguel Biermann. I am expecting them to be at their very best sa pagsisimula ng ating Philippine Cup. Down to our final 2 teams. You check out the Terra Firma Jeep coming up. And they pulled off a big move in the off-season after the PBA draft. Added itong si Brian Enriquez from Barangay Ginebra. Javi Gomez de Liaño is also with them. Of course, MIP contender Wami Chongson, Joshua Monson, another top pick overall. And if they get it together, if Wami Chongson continues to provide them with those numbers, yung binigay niya kontra sa mga San Miguel Ginebra in the past season, they could be, headaches for other teams. But the key has always been consistency for Terra Firma. Can you be consistent enough? Tapos wala pa yung Alex Cabagnot who still is recovering from that Achilles tear.
Yung Wami, not just the numbers, but the leadership, Carlo.
Sure.
Yung leadership na itong Wami from that point guard spot, the inspiration he brings to this squad, that is going to be key. Yung Joshua Monzon, rookie year, got cut short because of an injury, came back a little late for their campaign, but they still had that spectacular week. I remember that week. Pag tinignan natin yung schedule mamaya, may tuturo ko sa'yo na dapat maging ganun ulit na ilaro nila. Terra Firma daw, nagulat tayong lahat nung pinili nila etong si Gray. Parang if you need help right now, why do you get somebody who's injured and won't be back for another 4 to 6 months? Pero yun naman pala, natitrade naman pala nila kagad and they got 2 guys back. Yung Deliano, di pa natin malaman paano magiging timpla sa PBA, but alam natin, he's a bigger guard and he's a dead shot.
Yep.
Brian Enriquez, we have really no idea because he never really got any minutes in Barangay Nebra. He might have a total of 5 minutes total playing time throughout that rookie year. Malalaman natin yun. That's happened before. Sina Roshan McCarthy and all that. Di ba? Pag napupunta sa Terra Firma, biglang umaangat yung laro. Let's see what this kid can do. Pero ang bigat dito, yung Joshua Monzon.
Yeah.
He's gotta prove that he wasn't a bust last year. Yep. He's gotta prove everybody.
And sa akin, paulit-ulit naman yung sinasabi natin when it comes to Terra Firma, di ba? When will they say na this is the team that we're running with? Di ba? When will they commit to this particular unit or that particular unit? Kailan mo tatayaan na ng tuluyan yung squad na natatag mo? When will you be able to say na I'll keep this core intact, I will try to overcome the early challenges, build chemistry, and be more competitive. Because the trading has not worked out well for them. Hindi naman to opinion, hindi naman to kuro-kuro, di ba? They have not made it into the quarterfinals.
Since they came into the PBA, I think nakaka-anim na top 3 pick na sila. So these are facts. These are not opinions. 6 yata naging top 3 pick na nila. Ilan pa naging number 1 dyan? Yung Monzon, di ba? And all that. Yun nga sabi mo is this finally gonna be it para sa Terra Firma? Yep. Will this be the squad na pwede talaga nilang, yun nga, puhunanan na titignan natin how they do. They've got burned through the draft. Yung Roosevelt Adams, di ba? Bigla nang nawala na lang din.
Sure, yeah.
So, it's not completely their fault. Meron talagang nagiging problema along the way. Is this the time para sa Terra Firma? Hopefully, they can compete. Hopefully, they can sneak in at least kahit yung 7 or 8 seed. That's where I see them trying to sneak in there.
Let's check out the schedule nitong Terra Firma to better appreciate what they have to overcome to be able to become a factor, become a competitor in the playoffs. NLEX, Northport, Phoenix, Converge, Blackwater.
Tapos nun, Carlo, ito na yung sinasabi ko sa yung week.
Pero bago mo pasukan yan, this is a possible decent runway for Terra Firma. Right? The first 5 games.
2-3 wins. Maybe even 4. Maybe even 4.
That's a decent runway before you head towards, the bigger teams. Na yun nga, sasabihin mo nga kung sino yung susunod-sunod nilang kalaban.
Of course, target mo 5 wins sa first 5 games. But in reality, makakuha ka minimum 2 or pag napaabot mong 4 yan, napakagandang puhunan yan because ito yung killer stretch, Carlo. They need that week where they won 3 straight last season, that magical week, that the Wami Chongson show, call it what you may, yung TNT on the 1st, July 1, 5 days after Ginebra, 2 days after doon, Magnolia, and then another 6 days after San Miguel. Yun yung killer stretch nila. Doon kasi, makadalawa ka doon, pwede mo sabing chamba na. Di ba?
Isipin mo, Magu, if you had Roosevelt Adams, if you have Jordan Heading, that's their player. Diba? He was a selection in the special Gilas draft for Terra Firma. So, if you had those players, things could have been very different for Terra Firma. But let's see. Tignan natin kung ano yung mangyayari sa kanilang kampanya here in the 47th season, specifically in the Philippine Cup na walang katulong na import. Dahil alam natin, Magu, no? Actually, decente kumuha ng import yung Terra Firma.
Yeah.
They've had good imports in the past. Si Capri Alston, of course, White when they made it to the playoffs at least. So they've proven na meron silang mata for good talents in terms of imports. Let's see if they can compete in the Philippine Cup. Our last team on tap is the reigning, defending champion of the PBA Philippine Cup. They won it in Bacolor. without fans. They want to get that experience of winning it inside a packed arena. TNT, Tropang Giga, at sila magsisimula ng kanilang kampanya tomorrow as they go up against the Magnolia Magnolia Templados. Hot Shots na pala ang kanilang pangalan. One key addition na hindi natin nailista dito, itong si JD Tongcab, released from his SBP contract. He will be joining the team. But as we noted earlier, yung kawalan mo ng Mikey Williams. He was the difference from winning a championship and not winning a championship against Magnolia. Now you start off the Philippine Cup without it.
Napakabigat niya, no? You're still gonna have Jason Castro, but we all know Jason's getting up there in age. Kaya napakalaking bagay ng Mikey Williams because that allows Coach Chot to play Jason 22 minutes a game.
Off the bench.
Even off the bench, 22 minutes a game lang. Re-reserva mo palagi pang fourth quarter lang para pagdating ng quarters, ng semis, and hopefully finals for them, medyo fresh pa nga etong si Jason. So, depends on how long it is bago magkasundo o hindi etong TNT at Mikey Williams because pag may uncertainty, iba pa yan, Carlo.
Yeah.
Ngayon, pagkasigurado na, okay, hindi nasasama or okay, ito, papasok na. Doon kayo magkakaalaman Kasi kahit naman di ba nung Philippine Cup, late din pumasok? Papasok na si Mikey, tapos nagka-problema pa yata sa health and safety protocol and this and that. Tapos na blessing in disguise na, was that the second conference or the first? Na nagkaroon ng 3 weeks off na naman tayo. Kaya nag-clear siya, di ba?
Yung first few games niya yung hindi maganda talaga di ba? Doon siya nahirapan. Yeah, but again, yung binibuild na kupunan ni Coach Chot Reyes is all about, just reliving yung lumang traditions at winning ways nitong TNT Tropang Gigan. They definitely had a step in the right direction by winning the Philippine Cup. Ngayon, let's see how they overcome the absence of Mikey Williams for however long he may be absent. Malinaw na hindi siya maglalaro bukas. Maglalaro ba siya in the coming week? Or will it take a month? We don't know. But as we look at the schedule, nitong TNT Tropang Giga, makikita natin na, hey, they need to hit the ground running because they have a very slim margin of error because their June is just loaded with games.
8 game sa buwan ng June. Bago matapos itong June na yan, June 5 to June 29, 8 game na lalaroin nila. And early July, July 1, 7, and 10, they will be the first team to complete all of their elimination round assignments. That's 12 days before the elims actually ends, hanggang July 22, yung elimination natin. So they gotta get those wins right away if they want. They need maybe 7 or 8 right away para makapag-relax na sila pagdating ng July.
And that schedule was penciled for the FIBA Asia Cup, I believe, which will be happening on, I think, July 15 sa Indonesia. FIBA Asia Cup? Yeah.
Tuloy na ulit?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's I think the idea behind the front-loaded schedule nitong TNT Tropang Giga.
Parang nga doon yung schedule nila kaya inagaan. Somebody was telling me parang
I think yung na-cancel na sinasabi mo is yung Asian Games, yung September.
Okay.
But yung FIBA Asia Cup will be pushing forward, of course, knock on wood, na hindi na umangat yung cases sa Indonesia or everywhere else for that matter. Pero kaya po naging ganyan yung schedule nitong TNT. Maraming laro sa June that they need to really take advantage of before they take the break after July 10. Again, without Mikey Williams, for how long? That is the looming question for TNT Tropang Giga.
It's going to be real tough for them to defend this Philippine Cup without Mikey and looking at this schedule and the extra work they're going to have to put in for the country. Whether marami sa kanila o konti sa kanila ang makakasama do sa Asia Cup.
We don't know yet, so we will be patiently looking forward to those moments of the FIBA Asia Cup as well. Pero syempre, ang pagtutuunan natin ng pansin, starting tomorrow will be the 47th season of the PBA Leo Awards. We have the opening ceremonies, yung double header, at alam ko si Guaps, yung producer natin, excited na ipakilala sa atin kung sino yung mga muse, di ba? Sa paparating nating opening ceremony, Guaps.
Ikaw ba mag-i-interview bukas?
Hindi, I think si Paulo Del Rosario at saka si Apple David yung mag-i-interview.
Baka naman magmukmuk ka kaysa na muse na interview mo, ako katabi mo ba? Hindi ka ma-bad vibes ka na?
Kasama na rin yun doon, pero wala naman ako ano ba magagawa natin? Of course, ito yung mga muse natin. Of course, SEA Games, gold medalist, Kim Rang Robang for Meralco. Yung iba, dahil hindi po tayo masyadong maalam sa mga pageant, pagpasensyahan nyo na po kami nitong si Magumar John dahil hindi namin masyadong, hindi
Tawagan
kami
mo si
masyadong
Carla.
familiar.
Tawagan mo si Carla.
Oo, guess natin minsan
Yun
si
lang nag-iisang kilala ko, si Carla.
Ma'am Carla Lizardo. First, AJ Raval, isang artista for Barangay Ginebra. The rest, pasensya na po, hindi namin masyadong kilala nitong si Magu. Baka ikaw, baka may mas kilala kang kaysa sa akin.
Si Gops, kilala lahat to.
Kilala ba?
Ikaw ang nagpaliwanag, Gops.
Yun po.
Pakilaki niya, tanggalin mo na kami ni Carlo. Tanggalin mo na kami.
Di po kami masyadong maalam sa mga pageant. Pagpasensyahan nyo na po. But sila po yung ating magiging mga muse sa paparating na opening ceremony ng ating PBA 47th season. Again, the Leos opening and then a doubleheader all happening at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Magu, may mga hot takes ka ba in terms of the awards to be given out? May mga opinion ka bang gusto mong ihulog dito bago natin wakasan itong episode ng 2OT?
It's gonna be a really long but eventful day tomorrow. Sana po magkasama-sama tayong lahat sa pag-enjoy ulit ng pagbubukas ng bagong season ng ating PBA. 2 o'clock, we'll be live on TV5 right away with the Leos. And then merong opening. And then may dalawang napakagandang laro. Converge, magpapakilala na sa entablado ng PBA. Rain or Shine, will see how they have worked on their game in the offseason after, hindi na nga arguably, after obviously a very disappointing 46 season campaign for them. And then itong rematch, Magnolia, TNT Tropang Giga. Ganda, punong-puno yung araw natin bukas. Doon sa nagsasabing NBA, Lunes pa po yun. Manood ka bukas ng NBA kung gusto mo. Replay ng Game 1 pa yung mapapanood mo. Kami po, ito tututukan namin. Punong-puno tayo ng basketball bukas maghapon.
Kita-kita po tayo bukas ng TV5, One Sports, PBA Rush. At dito, syempre, sa Smart Sports Facebook page where we will still be airing, I believe, the second games of the doubleheaders sa ating Philippine Cup. And for that, dyan na po muna magtatapos ang episode ng 2OT. Maraming salamat, no? Napahaba yung ating kwentuhan.
Haba pala na ito, yeah.
Oo, umabot tayong 1 oras, 20 minutes. Pero ganyan po talaga pag nagkakasarapan. Yung kuro-kuro natin, especially with the 2OT viewers also sharing their thoughts about the upcoming season. Sobrang excited ako. See you tomorrow. 11 pa lang magkasama na tayo dun sa Araneta.
Before 11, tutusukin pa ilong natin. Ano ka ba?
Oo nga. So 10:45. Magkikita na tayo sa Araneta. And on that note, we will wish you a good day. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Rest well. We'll see you tomorrow for the opening for Magumar John. Ako po si Carlo Pamentuan and this episode of 2OT is and will always be presented by Smart 5G.
Salamat, Smart!